There are two versions of WordPress. One is WordPress.com and WordPress.org, and they share some common ground but still have a lot of differences. WordPress itself is just like a CMS used to create websites, and you can showcase like online shops, blogs, things like that. It's free and it's open source, and it does power about 43% of the world's websites. WordPress.com is a hosting platform. It allows you to create your site, manage it for free, and the way it works is similar to how WordPress.org would work. WordPress.org is for anyone who wants a bit more flexibility. So WordPress.org is the actual software that anyone can download and use it for free. But to run it, you need your own hosting server and your own domain name. So this is where it gets maybe into more paid versions of the website platform. So the main difference between the two versions is the way you're hosted. So WordPress.com is a hosting platform, and they will host your site themselves. You don't need to worry about that. It's more of a sort of turnkey solution, while .org is a self-hosted solution, i.e. you take care of it yourself, but the software used to run both versions is the same. So they are still closely linked together. In this example, I'll show you how to build a website using WordPress.com to build a free website. So the first thing you want to do is go onto WordPress.com and click on Get Started. And it'll ask you to provide an email address, username, and a password. You can also continue with Google or with Apple. The next thing then you want to do is get a domain. So you can get a free 1-year domain registration with any paid annual plan, or you can connect a domain that you already own. What you can also do is just choose the domain later as well. The next thing then you want to do is choose a plan. So in this example, we're building a website for free, but just to go over quickly some of WordPress's hosting plans. You can see it's split between pay monthly and pay annually. So depending on how you're wanting to use your billing cycle, but essentially it's split into personal, premium, business, and e-commerce. Personal and being the cheapest, about £3 a month, £36 annually. You get the free domain, you get the free hosting, and you get to remove WordPress ads, and you can collect payments, and you can get customer support. Obviously, with the higher premium plan that you go, the more support that you get. You get things like Google Analytics interaction, SEO tools, database access, things like that, live chat support with the e-commerce one. So it just depends on which platform you kind of go for. If you scroll down on this page, there's some frequently asked questions, things like, is hosting included? Can I use a domain that you already own? All of this is included within this page as well. But again, in this example, we're just going to start off with the free site. And it's going to start building out the site, basically. So similar to Wix, it's going to ask you about your site goals and essentially your business needs, whether you want to sell online, if you want to write and publish, promote yourself, things like that. So you want to select everything that applies, or you can fully just skip to the dashboard if you wanted to. And then you want to say what your website is about. And you want to just give a sort of topic that you think would help. And if not, you can always just click on something else. But this will kind of help you in terms of giving suggestions, in terms of like picking your theme, things like that. And then you want to give a name. And you can give it a tagline as well. So explain what your store is about in a few words. Both of these are optional. The next thing then is to pick a design. So if you remember, we picked store and blog as our business goals. So it's showing me a lot of So you can see once it's loaded, it's gone directly to the blog page. So I'm just going to come out of there just to show you the dashboard a little bit. So this is your WordPress dashboard, and this is kind of an overview of your site, similar to like the Wix dashboard. You can preview your blogs and see what else is left to do with the site. It'll show you the next steps. So in terms of, so we've got the blog set up here, we've named our blog, we've previewed it, we've browsed our themes. The next few steps are to publish our post, enable post sharing, and launch our blog. And you can see there's different options here as well. So this is the home, this is how you get the dashboard. And then down here, you'll see things like upgrades. So this is how you can, if you wanted to upgrade your plans, add some add-ons and things like that. Again, so these add-ons would be paid. So if you want premium themes, or if you want custom to be able to add custom CSS, things like that. The posts tab is where you'll be adding all of your blog pages. So these are the blogs that we have currently. So it comes with sort of optional and placeholder blogs. But essentially, if you wanted to add blogs or edit blogs, you'll go into posts and edit the blogs here. Then you've got the media library, and this is essentially all of the media that's been added to your site is saved here, similar to Wix. They're all saved here as well. The other thing that you need to do then is, if you wanted to add new, just click on add new, and you can add new bits of media as well from your computer. So you would just click on the image from your computer and just click upload to add the images onto your website, and then they're free to use on your blogs and in your pages. Then you've got the actual pages tab, and these are the pages that are on your website. So right now we just have the home page. It is possible to add a new page if you wanted to, add maybe like an about page or a gallery page, something like that. The other thing you can see is WooCommerce. So this is the the plugin used to set up the e-commerce functionality. So you are free to kind of add products, edit products here as well. The only thing to make sure though is, if you want to start accepting payments similar to Wix, is that you need to have one of the WordPress business plans. Within the appearance tab, this is where you'll actually edit your theme if you wanted to. So if you go into appearance and then themes, you can see if there's more themes that you want to use instead of the one that you picked, you can always change it. You can see in the themes dashboard, so this one here that says active, this is the theme that we're currently using. But what you can do is switch to the free tab here and browse through thousands more different themes that are free to use and easily applied on your site. So if you click on free and look for one of the themes that we have available, for example this one here, all you need to do in order to use it is click into it, and you can see the site theme being applied as well. So you can change your theme if you wanted to. Another thing to watch out for are the users and the settings. So if you wanted to add another person onto the site to maybe help you write blogs, you can add different users to the site. So other people have access to your site as well. And then you've got the settings, and this is just basic things that where you can change like the site icon, you can change the title and add the tagline here as well. To view the site, once you've made some changes, all you need to do is go into my site here. You can see just underneath, this is the URL that's currently being used on your site. You click into here and you can see the site as is, and once with all the content added, and you can make any changes as well. What you can do is click visit site, and this is how the site looks for the user. What you can do is also click edit page and see what editing options that you have. So you can see this is the back end of the site, and this is sort of built for you with the theme. But what you can do is maybe change the content here, and you can add content here as well. And one thing that's pretty useful with WordPress is that they have something called the Gutenberg editor, and this is what you'll use, and which will basically allow you to add things like paragraphs, headings. You can add images and things like that. It just makes it easier to add new sections. Unlike Wix though, it's not as flexible, it's not very drag and drop, but you do have that option if you wanted to. You can add more pages if you go back to the Pages tab and just click Add New Page. And you can see with the theme, it'll show you pre-designed pages that you can just select depending on what kind of page you're going for. You can just select a design theme as well, and then just go in and change the content, and then just click Publish in order to publish that page and put it on your site. The other thing that you want to do is add your blog. So if you go back into Posts, what you want to do is click Add New Posts. And you just want it similar to Wix, you just add the name of the post and the actual blog content. And again, you can just type directly or copy and paste it. And you do have some formatting options if you want to bold, if you want to add links, and you can also transform into headings. And then once you're done, you want to make sure that you add an image, and you can also add images within the post as well. So similar to Wix, you can add image tags, you can add gallery tags, and that way you're able to kind of publish content as well with images to kind of make the post more readable to users. Once you're done, you have all the pages on your site, you have all of the logos, and you have all the blogs. The only other thing left to do is to actually launch your site. If you come into Settings and scroll down to Launch Site, you can see here, so your site hasn't been launched yet, it's hidden from visitors. What you want to do is click Launch Site. And this is where so this is where you'll have basically some you might need to pay for. So the thing you want to do is choose a domain. With WordPress, you do get the first year free, so you can pick a domain that you like, and then you want to click on a site plan. So you can either pick one of the site plans, or you can click on a blog that you can use the free site plan as well. And then after that, you just want to check out with your domain, and that's essentially your site live. So with WordPress, the actual WordPress software is free, but you would need to get the domain as well, whether that's through WordPress or whether that's through GoDaddy, things like that. The domain is the only thing that you're paying for, but the hosting itself is free. And if not, you're using this website here. So your website is under this domain. So similar to how in Wix, the free domain is not really a custom domain, and it's not the most user-friendly one in the world. WordPress is the same. The other option that you have is using WordPress.com and downloading the actual WordPress file and then using it locally on your computer. This gives you a lot more flexibility in terms of designing your website, adding in themes, adding in plugins and things like that. So unlike the WordPress.org, WordPress.com you will need to find separate hosting for. WordPress.com is a hosting provider. Hosting.com is a hosting platform that provides you with that, self-hosting, as we've seen earlier, and WordPress.org is self-hosting solution. So you need to find an external third-party hosting provider in order to host your WordPress.org website. But in any case, the software used to run both versions is the same. To give you a bit of an overview of the WordPress dashboard, again, it's similar to WordPress.com. So the WordPress dashboard is the very first screen which you'll see when you first log in. This dashboard over here gives a basic overview of your site, and as you add different plugins and different themes, you'll notice more and more things get added to it. So for example, if you have a Gravity Forms plugin, you'll see a little form box come in here, so that gives you an overview of all the forms that you have on your website and things like that. And this dashboard here is fully editable, so what you can do is go into screen options, and if you decide there's certain things that you don't need, so for example the WordPress events and news, if you don't look at that and you think you don't need it, you can just uncheck that, and that removes it from your screen options. You want to make this area sort of clutter-free and easy to kind of read over when you first log in. So a good thing to do would be to remove anything that you think you won't need. The same thing, you can go in and add anything that you think you do need and things like that. You also have the option to kind of drag things around. So if I click on this here and drag it over there, it'll move there permanently and just save automatically. And you can push things up, push things down, and kind of organize this in the way that you think would most benefit you. The next tab then is the Updates tab, and this is an overview of all the plugins and themes that you have that need updating, and also the WordPress core in general. This is where you'll find what version of WordPress you're currently running, and it'll also tell you what plugins are needing to update, what themes are needing to update, and things like that. Then you have your posts, and this is where you'll have all the posts on your website stored, and also the posts that aren't currently on your website. So if they're saved as a draft or if they're private, they'll also stored here. So if you go into posts, they'll all be here, and you can search between them. If you have quite a few posts, for example, over like 60 or 100, there'll be a sort of pagination that you can go page by page. Another thing you can do with the post section is if you have, say, over 100 posts and you want to view more than 50 at a time, by default, WordPress will only show you 20 at a time. So you just want to go into screen options, and where it says number of items per page, you just want to increase that or decrease that to an amount that you think would be helpful. Within that, you can also take out any columns that you think that you might not need. So for example, if you uncheck the comments checkbox, the comments column just kind of removes itself. The tags, categories, if you think that it's too much clutter on your website, and on the dashboard, then you can just remove those. These aren't removing the columns like permanently from the post, they're just removing it from the dashboard. You can still see the comments and categories if you were to click into the post. They're still there on the back end. This is just mainly for the overview of the dashboard. Sometimes you might find there's a lot of columns and the information becomes unreadable. So this is a useful tool to have just so that you can remove some of the columns and view everything really easily. Within the post tabs, you have different buttons. So within the add new, it'll just automatically add a new post, and it'll open a blank version of a back end of the post, and you can go in and start adding in the post details. You can add your titles, add any categories, tags, your featured image, and then schedule as you need to. The next tab then is the categories tab, and this is like a bulk way of adding different categories. So for example, if I wanted to add a category here, I'll just add the name of the category. I can keep the slug blank, and it'll just take the name of the category as the slug, and you can give it a description. And the description is mainly for back-end use. It isn't typically shown on the front end. It's just so you know a brief about what this category is and what kind of posts people will find within it. And then another thing you can do is add a parent category. So I'll just add this one here. And if I wanted to add a category within that, I would just select the parent category here, and then just click add new category. And now that category is a subcategory of the marketing one that we've just created before. And the tags one is the same. So it's you can add different tags, and it's the same kind of method as the categories. You would just click into categories, and then add the different tags that you want. You just need to add the name, and then the slug will kind of automatically generate depending on the name that you've added. And you can also add a description as well. Within the post, then, once you have different categories and tags added, you'll notice there's like a filter function. So you can filter between different categories. This is useful if you have loads of posts and you just want to see posts within a certain category. You can just go into all categories and choose the category that you want to filter and just click filter. And it'll show all the posts that have that category attached. You can also filter within dates. So these are dates published basically. And you would just select the date and the month and year that you want to view the posts for. Another thing you can do is bulk action some of these. So if you have a few posts that you realize that you want to delete, you would just select by the checkbox which post that you want to delete, and then under bulk actions, just do move to bin and then hit apply. And you can see one post move to the bin, and you'll see now that you have a new tab that says bin, and if I click on that, you'll see the old one there. And if you want, you can restore it, or you can just delete it permanently. We'll just restore it for now, and that'll move the post from the bin. And you can see once it's been moved from the bin, it doesn't automatically publish it. It actually publishes it keeps it as a draft, and then you would need to go in and publish just here. Another thing you can do is bulk edit some items. So in terms of editing, you won't be able to edit a lot of things in terms of like the content or the page, but you can bulk add things to categories or tags. So for example, if I were to select these two, go into bulk actions and click edit, you'll be able to see what I'm editing and add any categories that I want to add. So for example, if I want to add these all to marketing, and then add any tags that I want to add. And then I can make changes to any authors. I can make changes to whether or not I want to allow comments or not. I can make changes to status, make it published or private. I can make these changes to both of these at the same time, and then just click update. And now you can see these two are now updated with the new tags and the new categories. So next, moving on, is the media library. So the media library is where all of the images, audios, videos, PDFs, different files that you upload to your website, it'll be uploaded here. When you're adding things to pages, when you're adding things to posts, it'll automatically get added to the media library, or you can add new images to the media library yourself and then have that ready for when you're uploading to post or onto a page. So to add a new image or to add a new file to the media library, what you want to do is click into the media library and then click add new. And then you can either drag and drop the files over here, or you can click select files. And it'll open up your file explorer, and you can pick an image from your computer, click open, and it'll upload immediately to the media library. Within the media library, you can click on an image and add any alternative text, add any captions and descriptions. And this is really good for SEO, especially the alternative text. It's good for Google to understand what kind of image this is, and it's also good for screen readers. And by default, it'll create a file URL. So if you ever need that, you just need to come into the media library and select the file URL from there. Within the media library, you can also edit any images. So if I click on an image and then click edit image, it'll open different options that I can do in terms of I can rotate, I can flip things vertically, I can crop images if I need to, I can scale them. So for example, if I were to crop this image here, and then click crop, save, I don't have to worry about doing that beforehand and uploading it. I can just upload it and edit the image here. Next thing then is the pages, and these work like the posts. So all the pages on your website, including the ones that are just draft or private, they'll all be stored here. So if you're ever looking for a page, you can come in here and either search for a page, or if you know the name of the page, you can search for it, or you can just scroll through. And just like in posts, under screen options, if you can change the column details, so you can remove some of the columns that you think you don't need and just make it less clutter. And you can change the number of items per page. So if you do have a lot of pages, you can just change the number of items and be able to scroll through a lot easier. With the pages, you can also bulk remove pages. So if I select a few pages and click move to bin, I can just hit that apply, and then in the bin you can see I've removed all 3 pages. Same if I want to restore them, I can just bulk select all of them and then go back to have it back in the all pages section and move from the bin. Same thing with the posts, I can also bulk edit them. So if I take the ones that have just been moved to the bin and are under now draft, I can just click edit, click apply, and change the status like this, and change anything else as well. So in terms of the pages, I can change the parent page, I can change the author, and whether or not I want the pages to allow comments. And then I just hit update, and those pages are now done. The next tab then is the comments section. So any comments that are on your website, either if they're on the blogs or if they're on certain pages, they will be stored in the comment section. And depending on how you have your settings, you can either, if you need to approve the comments first, you can come in here and approve the comments, either by unapproving by the option here, unapprove, or reply to a comment, or you can bin comments. All your comments can basically be managed through the comments section. Next thing then is the appearance, and this is the themes. So the theme that you're using on your website, it'll be shown here. And with WordPress, you can only have one theme, and within that theme, you can have a child theme to help you make any edits and not lose any of the styling every time you make an update. If you have any extra themes that aren't being in use, it's best practice to remove them. And within the appearance, you have a customize option, and what you can customize varies from theme to theme. But you typically, within the customize option, you have the option to change the site identity. So this is where you'd add the tagline, a site icon, the logo, and the title. You can also choose the menu, and you can also create different menus and your homepage settings, which will be set up as a static page, or you can set it up as the latest posts, and you can also add any additional CSS. Again, so this section would vary between different themes, but that's typically what you would get. So if I were to come out here, and under themes, if I go into menus, this is where I can edit the main menus on my site, and you can have as many menus as you want, and they can be applied to different sections of your site. So for example, we just have this one menu here, which is the main menu, and that's just attached to the header. And if I want to make any changes to that, I would just go in, select the menu that I want, and make all the changes. So for example, if I want to move the contact us down to the end, I can just click and drag it onto the bottom. If I want to bring the sample pages as a drop down to the services, I would just click that and move it to the right of the services, or I can just move it back to the left and it's its own page now. So I can make changes like this. If I wanted to add an external link, for example, or a different link that's not on the website, what I can do is go into custom links and just paste in the link that I want and create my own link text. So this is what users will see whenever they first click, and then go into add menu, and that's a new menu item. And when people click on that, I can they'll be taken to the link that I've pasted in. If I want to make a link external, what I need to do is scroll up to screen options and select link target as an advanced menu property. And now when I come into custom link, save first. And now when I come into custom link, I have the new checkbox that says open link in a new tab. This will then open the link in a new tab, and that way users have a way to come back to your website if they were to go on an external link. I can also remove links as well and just save menu like that. Moving on to plugins. So this is where all the plugins, any extra plugins that I have on my site is where I'll be able to find it. And I can see which plugins are active, which are inactive, which ones would need updating. It'll all be stored here. As best practice would be if you have a lot of plugins that aren't active, it's best just to remove them and to always keep your plugins updated. To add a new plugin, I'll just click Add New, and I can either upload a plugin from my computer by just clicking Upload Plugin and choose the plugin file, or I can search for a plugin. So for example, if I wanted to add WooCommerce, I would just type in the WooCommerce and look for the WooCommerce plugin. And then just click Install Now, wait for that to install, and then click Activate. And then once it's activated, it'll take me to the WooCommerce dashboard. When it comes to adding different plugins, you want to make sure the plugins you're adding have good reviews, so you know they're from a reputable source. And it would be good to find one that has been around for a while, so you know there have been many updates, and it's one that people tend to use. Then if you go into users, this is where you can manage all the users that have access to your account. This includes any admins, any customers, any subscribers. They'll all be added here. So right now you have 2 admins. If you wanted to change the password for someone's account, you would just go into the user that you want to change the password for. Go in and either you can send them a password reset link, so they'll be sent an email asking to set their own password, or you can set a new password for them. It'll automatically generate a password, or you can just use your own, and you can either use the password gauge to kind of pick a strong password, or you can confirm the use of a weak password. To add a new user, you just click Add New. And to create a new user, the minimum that you'd need is a username and an email. And these can be the same. You can use their email as a username. And then you can add their first name, last name, and this will kind of be a bit more personal to them if they want to have their name up here. So you would just type in the email here. And then you can either generate a password for them, or if you have the send user notification enabled, they'll get an email saying that their account has been created and they would set their own password. And then you can also set them a role. So different roles have different capabilities. So for example, an admin has access to everything, including they can make any changes to plugins, they can add plugins, they can make changes to the themes, things like that, and they'll be able to remove and add access to users and things like that. You want to make sure that whoever you add as an admin, that you're not adding too many admins, and that you're not giving anyone more access than they need. Editors, the editor has access to all posts, pages, comments, categories. They can create, publish, and edit, delete any posts or images or any pages, but they won't be able to have the same amount of rights as admins, and they won't be able to create any more admins or invite any users and things like that. Authors has less rights than an editor, and they can only write posts, upload pictures, edit, and publish their own posts. A contributor can write and edit their posts until published, and then they can create their own posts and page, but they can't publish them. They can't upload any images or files, but they can see your site status. And when they want to publish something, it has to be approved by an administrator or an editor. And then once the post is approved, the contributor can't make any changes once it's published. Then you have subscriber, who are people that can read and comment on posts, and customer and shop manager are options for the WooCommerce ones. So a customer can go in and look at their order information, and shop managers has access to the back end of WooCommerce, but they won't have access to anything else in terms of posts or media and things like that. So what you want to do is make sure that people only get the access that they need, and then select the role and then click add new user. Last thing I'm going to go over is the settings. So you have general, writing, reading, discussion, any media settings, and permalinks and things like that. So under the general settings, you can pick the site title. You can also do this in the customizer as well, site title and tagline. Things like the WordPress URL and site address can be changed from the WordPress dashboard. An admin email address. So this is used for admin purposes. If your site were to go down or if there's any issues on the site, WordPress will notify the admin email address in this. And what you would need to do if you want to change that, you would just add the new email address here, and the new email address will then get sent an email asking to confirm, and it doesn't get changed until the new email has confirmed. You can set the site language, and the time zone as well. So you should set this relative to yourself. You can set the date format here, and this is the format that'll show on the blogs and things like that. Time format also shown here, and you can do for both the date and the time format. You can do a custom format if the ones that are provided aren't what you need, and you can change the date the week starts on. And these all affect the kind of posts that you publish and any pages as well. Another important thing that you might want to look over is the discussion settings. So these are things like comments. So it's to put limitations on people commenting on things. So for example, default post settings is to attempt to notify any blogs linked to the post, and these will notify blogs and also the the site admin. You can allow people to submit comments on new posts, but obviously this one, it can be overridden for individual posts. So this is whether or not you want people to submit comments. With other comment settings, you have different limitations. So comment author must fill out name and an email. If you don't want people to do that, you just uncheck that. If you want people to be registered in order to log a comment, you would need to check that. If you're okay with people not logging in, then you would just uncheck that. You can close comments on posts older than 14 days. So if you have a post that's kind of old and you don't want people commenting on it, you can set a number of days that you want as a limit and then select that. You can allow nested comments, you can break comments into pages, and things like that. And then you have the option to email the site admin anytime someone posts a comment or if a comment is held for moderation. And then before a comment appears, you can have control over whether you want to approve it first or if you want people to be able to freely update. And last thing then is the login attempts. So if you want to have a bit more security over the site, you can limit some login attempts. So by default, people are allowed to try and log in 4 times. If they enter their user details incorrectly 4 times, they'll be locked out for a total of 20 minutes. And after 4 times, and if they've been locked out 4 times, the lockout time goes to 24 hours, and it takes another 12 hours for it to be reset. So if you want to change the times out here, the lockout times, you go into limit login attempts and change the lockout settings over here. So that's the basic kind of overview of the WordPress dashboard, the important things to do with like your themes and your plugins and the basic tools and settings that you have, and how you can use the sort of dashboard to make things easier and give you a cleaner kind of overview of your website. Another important function to make sure that you have is, as we mentioned earlier, is selecting a WordPress theme. WordPress obviously uses themes to display certain sections of your website, and you want to make sure you pick a theme that suits you in terms of budget, functionality, style, and things like that. A WordPress theme is basically a group of files that work together to create the design of your website, the overall look of your website. And these can be things like sort of like these template files here for your header and your footer, single blog templates, any fonts, style sheets, images. They're all saved within the theme, and possibly any JavaScript files that you might have. There are lots of ways to download themes. You can either go directly to the WordPress directory. So if you already have your site set up, what you want to do is go into your dashboard and then go down to themes. Under appearance, you just want to click on themes. and then you just want to click Add New. And then from here you can sort of select different themes. You can search, browse for different themes. You can search for the theme name if you already have it, or you can use this kind of feature filter to filter between different themes. The other way you can do it is, if you don't have the site set up yet, is that you can download the theme from the WordPress website, so that's wordpress.org/themes, and set up the same way as the directory. You'll see a bunch of different themes ready for you to kind of download, and you can again use the feature filter to filter between what kind of theme that you want, and then just simply download whatever theme it is that you want. Come back to the WordPress dashboard on your site, click on Upload Theme, choose the file, and then select the file that you had just downloaded. So that's the theme file that you have, and then it'll install and you can just activate it. When it comes to choosing a theme, you want to select a theme that you like the best, but also that would suit your needs. And there's a few other things to consider when selecting one, and this includes things like the cost, the actual design and the look of it, compatibility with different plugins you may need to use, and sort of how easy the theme is to edit and how much control you have over certain aspects of the site layout. And you want to make sure the theme is responsive as well. So when it comes to picking a theme that would suit your needs, you need to consider the functionality and the purpose of your site. So like, what is your website about? What is it used for? If it's like, is it a personal blog website? Is it a travel blog kind of website, a portfolio site? Is it going to be an e-commerce site where you're trying to sell products online? Things like that. So obviously when you come to the WordPress directory, obviously it can be a bit overwhelming. There's lots of themes to kind of go for, lots of themes to pick. So what you can do is use the feature filter here, and within this filter you can actually select the subject, and this is essentially the subject of your website. Is it going to be a blog website, e-commerce, entertainment, food and drink, things like that? So you would select the website that the category that fits best the website that you're going to make. As you can see, so the reason why it's different is that a website for a blog might be laid out completely differently to a website that's for an e-commerce, because both of those themes will focus on different things. The blog themed themes will focus on what's the best way to display written content to the user, and the e-commerce themes will focus on how to show as many products, how to display products nicely in a way that kind of catch the user's eye. So it's really important to think about what the purpose of the website is, and overall, what do you want your customers to do? Do you want them to read your blogs? Do you want them to buy a product? Do you want them to book your service? Things like that. So what you want to do then is, once you've selected, once you go through these options, you can click into it for more information, and what you can do is you can click this preview button, and this will show you the website, the theme as a website as opposed to pictures, and that way you can really see sort of how the theme is going to work. So like, what kind of colors are they going to use, what kind of font styles, font settings, things like that. Some previews will also show you different pages and even single block templates and things like that. When you are selecting a site, there's certain things that you should look out for. So for example, say you've seen the preview of this and you like it, you want to check for things like the ratings. So you want to read the reviews of the site if there are any. You want to make sure that people that have downloaded this site and used this theme, are they happy with it? Would they recommend it? If there's any known common issues or bugs, people will tend to write about them. If you are using a theme that maybe doesn't have any ratings, maybe because it's new, and things like that, I think just be kind of a bit wary. Always have a theme downloaded that you can switch back to if the new theme that you've added doesn't work out okay. But essentially you want to look at the ratings as well and see if there's any known issues or if everything's okay. The other thing that you want to make sure is that it's being updated frequently. So if the last updated is maybe like a few months ago or maybe even a few years ago, I would suggest to stay away from those, because it would probably be sort of an insecure theme. Plugins are always being updated pretty much every week, and if the theme isn't being updated at the same time, newer versions of plugins won't work with older version of the theme. Old themes as well, they're both susceptible to attacks. So keeping a theme up to date is really important, as well as keeping your plugins up to date. So you want to make sure that the last updated is a recent time and not anything like a few months ago or a few years back. And you want to just check the PHP version as well and make sure that it's compatible with the PHP versions of other plugins that you might be using at the time. And then yeah, so you want to look at that as well, and then just see if there's anything else within the description or anything else that you want to look out for. Another place where you can get themes is the Invanto Elements website. So Invanto Elements not only do WordPress themes, they also do like custom fonts, any placeholder photos, graphics, things like that. It's a really good place to go if you don't have a lot of content in terms of imagery, any graphics and things like that. It is a paid service, so you are paying for essentially the service to download some of the themes and use them on your website as well. But essentially, if you have this account, what you want to do is under web templates, you want to go to all web templates. All CMS templates even. And you want to go into WordPress themes, and you can see a whole bunch of themes. Some of them you might find for free on the WordPress directory, but a lot of these would be premium themes. And again, you can use the filters to filter by sort of what kind of website, so e-commerce, portfolio, agency, blog, things like that. And then another thing you can also do is see what themes are compatible with certain plugins. So you see this filter here, so compatible with, and you can see there's a whole bunch of popular plugins that people tend to use, like WP PageBakery, WooCommerce, Elementor. So if you know that these are plugins that you plan on using, like if you plan on using a builder, then you want to select a theme that is compatible with that. So what you can do is so what you can do is, if you know you're going to use Elementor on your website, then you can select Elementor and Elementor Pro, and it'll then filter themes that are compatible with Elementor and that you can use Elementor with it. If you select maybe one of the themes, same thing as if you were to select a theme from the WordPress directory, there is a preview section, so it'll show you the theme as a website. Yep, so you can see the site here, and you can scroll down and really click through it and see what it's going to be like. So for example, this is agency, this is a consulting page, this is a marketing page, business page, things like that. And essentially all of this will be filled with placeholder content, and it's up to you then to change the content that you will add to the website, but at least you can see what this site will look like, what colors they're using, and the layouts and things like that. So this is another theme here, and you can see it's set up, the theme is set up exactly like a website, and you can sort of click around it and see exactly what you can change and what you can change the content on and what it would look like. The good thing about some of these themes, so like this is a theme that's compatible with Elementor, is that because most of the pages have already been built, it saves you a lot of time in the beginning, especially if you just are wanting a site up just for a place for people to have some kind of online presence. This saves you a bit of time from designing like a full website. All you need to do is maybe change a few colors, update the content, update the imagery, and that way you have a working site with not a lot of time invested into it, but at least it's how you want it. To check how responsive a site is, or a theme is, what you can do is right click onto the theme, click on inspect, and you'll see this might be to the side, so let me just put this aside. You can see in this button here, this is a responsive toggle. So if you click on that, you can select which device to view this theme on. So I've selected iPad Air, so it's viewing with this dimension. And you can see this is what the theme will look like. This is what these sections will look like if you were to use these themes, and you can see that it is not bad on mobile. So you know that you are picking a responsive site or not, depending on what theme that you're using. So it's really important to check for that, as more and more people are using their phones to browse online. So making sure you pick a responsive theme is important. So just like the WordPress directory, you want to make sure, you want to read through and see what exactly comes within the theme. So for this one, there's like 4 homepage templates, 9 inner pages, header footer builder, fully responsive, and things like that. And also here, it'll show you the plugins required. So this is something to watch out for with some of the Inventor ones, is that when they were when people build some of these themes, they do require these plugins. Now, depending on what they used each plugin for, you might not need to download all of them. So if, for example, the Met form, that's usually a contact form plugin. So if you don't download that, it's not that you can't download the theme at all. The theme will be downloaded, but whichever area of the theme is using Met form, that part won't be showing. So Met form is for contact form, so any part where there's a contact form won't show, so maybe replace that with something else or just download Met form. So it's important that you have access to all of these, and it tells you exactly what you need access to. So Elementor, Elements, Kit Lite, Met form, all of these. Usually but you don't need to download these separately. What you need to do actually is just download the entire thing, and then using the Inventor Elements plugin, you're going to import that file. So just to show you, so once you have obviously an account set up, you just want to click on download, and it's going to ask you to add a file to this project. So the projects are within your account, so this can be like the name of the this can be the name of the site, and you just want to add the file, the theme, to the project. So now we have the theme, and now what we need to do then is download the Inventor Elements plugin. And to do that, you just need to go back to your WordPress dashboard and go into plugins, and so you can see I've already downloaded Inventor Elements here, but all you need to do is click Add New, and then click and search for Inventor Elements. If it's not showing up on the WordPress directory, you can also just go into WordPress plugins, wordpress.org/plugins, and then just look for it there. But essentially, just download that and then add that to your. Once it's installed and activated, all you need to do is go down to. You'll see a new tab for elements, and this is the Inventor Element Kit. And then what you want to do is click Template Kits. And you can see the template kits are already showing here, but then what you can do then, just make sure your account is connected, and then what you can do then is go into installed kits, and you want to upload template kit zip file, and this is just a zip file of the template kit that we downloaded earlier, and that's the plugin downloaded. Once you have your theme downloaded, it should apply to every part of your website, and just make sure that it's activated on the themes page before you go to check, and then you can start seeing where to customize your theme. So if you go into customize, it should show you all the options on what you can change, so things like the site identity, homepage settings, header and footer, all of that you can update here. So it's up to you to kind of see how you're editing the theme. And what you can also do then is, if you realize actually you don't like this theme, you can switch back to a previous theme. So if you go back to theme here, so it's not good to have lots of themes, so you want to keep the theme that you currently have, and then you also then just want to keep like a backup theme. So that's in case if anything goes wrong, or if you ever need to debug an issue, then it's good to keep one of the 2021-2023 themes, just so there's something that you can switch to if you ever need to debug an issue or anything like that. And it's really simple. You just click on activate, and it'll activate the new theme. So just be careful of that. So now we can go over some popular themes. One of the most popular themes used especially is the Hello Elementor theme. So the Elementor plugin, Page Builder, is one of the most popular page builders there is out there, and the same team that built that also created the new Hello theme, and essentially it's fully designed to work really well with the Elementor Pro plugin. It's very lightweight, and yeah, 100% tailored to Elementor. I think if you are building a website that is using a specific builder, and that builder comes with its own theme, I think the best thing to do would be download that theme as well, because then you know you're downloading you're downloading a theme that's optimized to work with the builder. And it's really important, since builders themselves are quite heavy plugins, that you keep the theme really nice and lightweight to not add any more load time. But essentially it just means that both your sites will, both theme and the plugin will work seamlessly. And so Elementor itself is very responsive, it's SEO friendly, it's very lightweight, and it's also free. So you can, Elementor, the basic plugin is free, and also the Hello theme is free. It's just the Pro plugin that's you would need to pay for. But even if you were just to get the Elementor plugin, the basic one, and with the Hello theme, you've still got a good site going along the way. You would just need to create an account. So yeah, the Hello Elementor theme is one of the most popular ones. Another theme that's really popular is the Astra theme. So the Astra theme is, again, really fast, really lightweight, and a very, very customizable WordPress theme. The good thing about Astra is that it comes with thousands of pre-built templates that are ready to use. They are responsive, and they're very modern kind of design. And the good thing else about it is that you can customize everything really, really easily. And you can also see it integrates with a lot of different other plugins, like the Elementor plugin, WooCommerce, LearnDash, and it's a very, very popular plugin as well. So you know that there's sort of a lot of good reviews, and there's a lot of support as well. So any themes that come with their own kind of support team would be highly recommended, just because then if there's any issues with the plugin itself, if there's any issues with understanding how it works, it's very easy to just submit a ticket and have someone get back to you on how to solve any issues that you're having. Astra, and it's the basic theme is free, but then there's also a Pro version. And if you go onto their website, you can click on Pro. You can see that they've got different functionality, so things like more color controls, custom layouts, and spacing controls. So with the Astra Pro, it's almost like a builder, where you can have a bit more control over the actual site layout. So if that's important to you, then I would recommend probably either a builder and a theme that works well with the builder, so maybe like the Elementor and the Hello Elementor theme, or a theme like Astra, where a lot of things are very, very customizable, and they already have a lot of templates that you can sort of work with as well, and it integrates with WooCommerce, so you don't need to worry about having something separate for e-commerce websites if you needed to. Another theme that's really popular is the Ocean WP theme. It's a very lightweight theme, and very easy to customize as well. And the good thing about it is that it's free, and also works with page builders like Elementor, Beaver Builder, and Divi as well. You will need to connect it to a license. So if you go into their pricing, you can see the different kind of pricing plans they have for premium or for personal, up to 3 sites, 6 sites, or 50 sites, depending on what you need. But if you look through what they have, so Ocean WP is fully compatible with Elementor and other plugins as well.